Guys, how's it going? Today's video is going to be a lot shorter than the last one because I only have one thing to show you. But it's an interesting little curio, and it's the beginning of something that I'm going to be doing this year that I'm very excited about. Well, I don't know if I would say very, but I'm interested to see how it all turns out, I would say. I've decided to put some money into this because these are movies that I care about, and they aren't available through any other means. So, with that said, I'm just going to go ahead and show you right now that I picked up here an old-ass copy of one of my favorite movies from my childhood, Josh and Sam, here on VHS. And I don't know if anybody else remembers this movie, but I definitely do, and I loved this movie growing up. I gotta tell you, it was one of those movies that I was like looking for on DVD while DVD was out and doing its thing, and while I was still getting into this whole collecting community thing, right, back in the early 2000s. And I was just like, well, where is it? Did it even ever come out on DVD? And the answer is no. This never came out on DVD. It was never released on DVD. And to my knowledge, it has not been released digitally anywhere. This is the only way to get this movie is on VHS. Alright? So, with that said, it's a movie that I care about. So, when I care about movies and I can't have easy access to them, I think about all the other people out there who might also care about those movies, and I think, well, it's kind of shitty that they only have access through a VHS, which, most people don't even have a VCR anymore. I don't even have a VCR anymore, and I bought this, alright? So what I'm actually planning to do is to go down to a Goodwill and find a VCR, bring it home with me, use that to hook it up to my capture card, and you guessed it, I am going to digitally transfer this movie from VHS to my computer. And then, well, who knows what then, because I can't incriminate myself, and I'm not necessarily going to give it away for free or anything like that, but at least then I will have access to it. I paid for it. I paid for the actual movie on VHS here. It's in my possession. And if I want to digitally ensure that I have a copy of that in case anything happens to my copy that I purchased and own for myself, then I have every right to do that. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm probably never even going to watch it on VHS other than to digitally transfer it to my computer, and then I'm probably going to put it in a cloud somewhere so that even if something happens to my computer, it will not be affected. I won't have to do this again. But even if I did have to do it again, I have the VHS right here. And yeah, the cover art is a little sun dried or whatever you want to call it. But the actual movie itself looks to be in okay condition. If you look in, it's very hard to tell just by looking at a cassette tape, right? But it looks like it's in pretty good condition. I don't see any warning signs. I don't see any red flags. A red flag to me would be something that was a previous rental. I don't see any signs that there was a sticker on here at any point indicating that it was a previous rental. I don't see any signs at all to indicate that other than the condition of the box. And for all I know, the person who put this up on eBay found the box somewhere else and found the tape somewhere else and put the two together. The big thing for me was the tape, which did not have any indication that it was a previous rental copy. And that's something that I look out for, because if I'm planning to digitize this and to digitally save it onto my computer, I want to make sure that I've got the best copy of it I can find. I don't necessarily want there to be tracking issues because somebody watched a movie and loved it so many times on VHS, right? And I guess one of the good things about some of the more rare VHS movies out there that were only ever released on VHS is that they are rare for a reason. They're typically rare because they were produced in small quantities and because very few people knew about them or watched them. And if very few people knew about them or watched them, then that means that there's a good chance that the cassette tape you're going to find is going to be in pretty good condition simply because not that many people watched it, right? And I'm hoping that's what the case is here. At least the ad said that it was in very good condition. We'll see. We will see. But yeah, I'm just going to be happy to be able to, take control for myself and put out a legit copy of this movie that I can watch on my computer whenever I feel like it. And honestly, it's also nice to finally have this in my collection, even if it's only on VHS, which is the only way you can get it right now. So, yeah. Unfortunately, like I'd love to say that maybe they'll put this out on one of those, specialty labels on Blu-ray or even on DVD or something like that. God, I'd have more hope for them to put it out on like a 4-pack DVD from Mill Creek than I would from anyone else. Because the other companies are far too concerned with doing like cult horror releases, or cult western releases, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. They're just appealing to to the biggest audience out there, right? And I don't have a problem with that at all because I am somewhat a part of that audience. I like a lot of those movies and I want to own a lot of those movies on Blu-ray. It's very nice. I appreciate that, right? But at the same time, there are also movies like this, Josh and Sam, that never really got put out on DVD or Blu-ray, and they get ignored. They get ignored largely because they're more of a family thing. They were aimed more at the family audience, and therefore they're not necessarily cult movies, even if they're somewhat rare. So they're probably not going to get that kind of love from an independent label as some other movies would if they were like a cult. Uh, Heck, there are movies that were only ever released on VHS that eventually got Blu-ray releases because of their cult status, right? Because they know that there's a cult audience out there that's going to buy this no matter what, right? There isn't really that much of a cult audience, I don't think, for Josh and Sam, and they probably don't think there is either. So, yeah, another one like that would be Masterminds. Masterminds isn't going to have a cult audience either, but it's a movie starring Patrick Stewart, and it's only available on VHS. And yes, it kind of borrows heavily from other movies like it, but what are you going to do? And I still enjoyed it. I remember actually going to see it the 1 week that it was in theaters, and I really enjoyed it. And I wish that we could get a legitimate copy of this on Blu-ray or DVD. If I am not mistaken, it might actually be available on DVD in another country, but, you know, I don't know. All I know is that it's not available on DVD or Blu-ray here in the States, and it doesn't look like, because of the kind of movie it is, because it's more of a family audience kind of movie and not a cult movie, it doesn't look like it's going to be getting a new Blu-ray or DVD transfer anytime soon. For that matter, it doesn't look like it's going to get a digital copy version anytime soon. I don't think it is available on digital. If it is, somebody feel free to correct me, but yeah, this one definitely, I've looked around, I have never seen it on digital. So, yeah, there are a few like that I want to pick up and make sure that they are, you know, in the digital realm now that we're in the digital realm. I want to make sure that these aren't necessarily forgotten and that I have copies of them that I can watch when I want to, you know. I guess it's a big part of my collecting. For a lot of people, they collect simply because they want like memories of their movies and they want their favorite movies and they want to display their favorite movies somewhere nice. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they want to watch them, right? It just means that they want to have them in a nice place and have memories of them, right? for me, I take more of an approach of like, I actually do want to watch these movies, and I want to have the opportunity to watch them when I want to watch them. So it would be a lot easier if it was a digital copy or something like that. If it would be a lot easier if it was on DVD or Blu-ray. It's not on DVD and Blu-ray. It's not going to be on DVD and Blu-ray more than likely ever. So I have to take steps and matters into my own hands. And that's exactly what I've done right here. So this is the beginning of a journey, folks. And it's only going to get crazier from here, I hope. Yeah, let me know what you think of this movie if you remember it. If you don't remember it, then you can find a trailer online, no doubt. And I recommend checking it out if you can find the VHS anywhere. I paid $8 for this copy shipped. It was a pretty good deal, honestly. Because it's more of a rare title. I wouldn't say it's like a rare, super rare title, but it's definitely one of the more difficult to find titles out there. So, yeah. This isn't the only VHS copy like this of a movie that I've picked up either. Just the other day, I made a purchase on yet another movie like it in the same kind of, family that movie that isn't going to be considered cult and so isn't going to be produced on DVD or Blu-ray. Another one is coming along the way, and I will show you that and talk about that one when it comes. And yeah, that is that. Bet you didn't think I was going to get into VHS collecting, did you? But you know the reasons now. You know why. That's one of the things I wanted to explain implicitly. I wanted it completely understood that I'm not collecting VHS because I think they're better. I'm not collecting VHS because I have nostalgia. I'm collecting VHS because there are movies like this that have never been brought out on any other format. So, yeah. I'm trying to do the same thing that a bunch of schools are doing when they take VHS copies of movies that have never been put out on any other media format before and digitize them and save them for future generations, so to speak. Maybe this won't be for future generations because as a normal ass citizen of the United States, I am not allowed by law to do that, to share what I'm doing here, to share the digital copy with the world. But, if a school were to approach me and ask me for that copy and it was completely legal to do so, then I would absolutely give them that so that they could actually, save this movie. And that's what's important. That's why it's important to me. I'm trying to save movies that are important to me from their eventual death. And when they're on a magnetic media like this, they're going to die eventually. This won't play forever, folks. It's not going to play forever. Now, is your DVD or Blu-ray going to play forever? Probably not. But a lot of the movies that are on Blu-ray or DVD are also on digital. They're also available through digital means as well. So it's not necessarily as much to worry about as you have to worry about with a movie like this. So now that hopefully you understand, I'm done talking about that for today. Because I've already gone on way too long. I think I said this video wasn't going to be as long as the last one, and I then spent 15 minutes talking about Josh and Sam and VHS and all that good crap. So, yeah. Anyway, thanks for listening to me ramble on again. Catch you guys later. Peace.